In an age where not much gets me excited about the future of Ubisoft games, it took you guys this long to come up with a stripped down version of Black Flag. There's only a handful of possible announcements Ubisoft could make that would get me genuinely excited. Not even Rift at this point would make me regain my faith in this now creatively bankrupt company.
New packaging, same product. Losers.
But one of those announcements that would actually get me excited is of course a remake of the original Assassin's Creed. Not only that, but I quite strongly believe at this point that it will be one of the game announcements at the end of Assassin's Creed Celebration, and you guys seem to think that too based on a poll I held not too long ago. Now maybe a lot of you just voted for AC1 Remake because that's what you want to see, not necessarily what you think will happen, but I'm going to go over why I think an AC1 Remake soon is likely. The most obvious reason is because, well, this is the celebration of the 15-year anniversary for the first Assassin's Creed. It doesn't take a genius to realize one of the best way to celebrate the first game's 15-year anniversary is by announcing a remake of said game. Obviously, that logic and reasoning alone doesn't really mean much, but it just makes sense. There also happens to be some pretty decent evidence and hints dropped by Ubisoft as of late. For starters, colorizing and touching up the original AC1 trailer. In case you weren't aware, during the AC Celebration trailer, they started it off by showing us a new version of the Assassin's Creed 1 trailer that was more vibrant and higher quality. The reason I think this is a major hint is because why would they go out of their way to do that? They didn't do it for any of the other old games, only AC1. Surely nobody would have complained that they didn't touch up the original trailer for Celebration, so to me that means there's some deeper meaning behind this, aka hopefully a remake. Either that or it's just a very cruel joke.
I'm so sorry. You're kidding me.
Excuse me? Explain yourself, sir. Explain yourself, sir.
Sorry.
However, fear not, brethren, for there is still some more scraps, some little clues, nuggets of hope. Now for the AC15 celebration, each of the games got their own fan kit with the logos and everything, and notably, as people have pointed out, Ubisoft added the tagline, a Ubisoft original, to specifically Assassin's Creed 1. They didn't do that for any of the Ezio games or anything, only AC1. Why is that significant, you may ask? Well, my naive friend. A Ubisoft original is something the good old Ubi started labeling all their new games as of late because, well, you gotta know it's a Ubisoft original, man. So why bother adding this to the original Assassin's Creed and none of the other older games? Very suspicious. Those are most of the main reasons I believe this remake is going to happen, but also I'd just like to point out that when they reveal the future of the series in September, it's going to be right after the celebration week for Assassin's Creed 1 in September. Look guys, I'm no detective, but got your ass, Ubisoft. Now allow me to take a moment to talk about what I absolutely don't want in this AC1 remake. For starters, if this game gets any form of these new RPG elements, this about to be me. I'm crazy, Ubi, I'm crazy, so don't you dare do it. We're so screwed, aren't we? Nah, but for real, Ubisoft, you know that if you go down this road, it's gotta be a traditionally styled Assassin's Creed game. It's a perfect way to give the old fans what they want, while introducing newer players to the formula and series. If you apply the current formula, like with Valhalla, that would just be plain out disrespectful to the fans and the original creators who birthed this game and series. Something else that is very important to me in this remake is how they handle the customization. Altair's classic white and red robes should be on at all times in the game. If there's some clothing customization where you can change his robes or wear legacy outfits from other games, even Ezio's outfit, that would be completely stupid in my opinion. I know Ubisoft tends to like to add a lot of these outfits to every game now, but let's please just keep AC1 realistic and true to the original. Ezio doesn't exist yet, so therefore you should not be able to wear his robes in the Third Crusade. The original tone of Assassin's Creed 1 AC1 is part of the game's identity. A dark, gritty, serious tone that tackles the brutality of the Third Crusade, with a battle between the assassins and Templars behind the scenes. Altair is a ruthless, no BS assassin, so if I see this man start cracking jokes, or if the game has an overly lighthearted and comedic tone, like the Quebec games, then that would feel totally out of place. Again, I'm not saying a lighter tone in video games is a bad thing, but for Assassin's Creed 1, it just wouldn't fit at all. It has to stay faithful to the vibe and tone of the original. However, I think the biggest challenge for Ubisoft in making an AC1 remake is how they're going to tackle the mission structure. AC1 often gets labeled as having a repetitive mission structure, which frankly I kind of disagree with. Yes, you are doing similar things with investigating and assassinating targets, but to me that's what the assassin fantasy is all about. Plus, the game is so short and laser focused, it can hardly feel that repetitive. The mission structure in AC1 is no nonsense. There's no filler, it doesn't waste your time, it gives you a handful of targets to assassinate. You've got to investigate and come up with the best plan and strategy for doing so, and then assassinate them. It's about being an assassin through and through. It knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't waste your time trying to be anything else. I'd really prefer if this remake kept the structure of assassinating the targets, but just introduce some more variety in the investigations and make it feel a lot more freeing and open. For example, rather than having to do a set number of the same investigations over and over before you can assassinate your target, it would be nice if the game gave you the freedom to explore the cities and investigate the targets on your own. Make the mission structure a lot more open so it feels more rewarding when you create a good plan on your own and execute it properly. It can feel a little bit more similar to the black box assassinations in Unity and Syndicate, where you have multiple opportunities and different entrances and ways to approach your assassination. I definitely think that's the way to go, rather than just introducing a lot of filler content or missions completely unrelated to assassinating targets. I think that's how you bring AC1's mission structure to the modern era. I'm also quite curious how they would handle the modern day story in this game. Personally, I think that's something they really don't need to change much at all from the original. There doesn't need to be added on gameplay sections or anything, just keep it narrative based. And get the legend Nolan North to come back and reprise his role as Desmond, because I'm assuming they'd redo all the voice acting for a remake. Having AC1's cutscenes in modern graphics and motion capture sounds incredible. I'd also assume we'd get a recasting for Altair, which is fine I suppose. They did that already for Revelations, so he'd actually have a Middle Eastern accent rather than just sounding American. Although I've got to admit, I still really like the OG Altair voice. It's so nostalgic for me.
But yes, aside from the failure and the hatred, yes, aside from those things, I envy you very much.
If you're finished.
All in all, of course I would be ecstatic if an AC1 remake really was one of the announcements during the celebration. Watch it be another Valhalla DLC. No, I seriously doubt that. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think we'll get a remake soon? And if so, what would you want it to be like? And if you're feeling very worried about a remake like me, I don't blame you. Ubisoft isn't exactly trustworthy when it comes to these announcements anymore. It's really 50-50. I just hope they don't ruin the reputation of the first game and do it justice, but we'll have to wait and see. Or there's no remake planned at all, and I've just been thinking about this for no reason. Story of my life. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you considered leaving a like and subscribing to the channel if you're new. I'm currently working on my AC Unity review, so I hope to see you all there. If you want to join the channel membership, there's a link in the description, and special thanks to my mentors for joining the channel. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.